What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. It is time for the Week 27 Premier League predictions, and I want to give a shout out to the new members, Alex, Chindi, and A-Boss, who has rejoined as now a gold member. Massive shout out to both of you. If you want to join the members club and get involved with the exclusive tips and posts and stuff like that, then feel free to click the join button down below or the join link in the description if it is available to you in your country. And of course, it does support me and allows me to keep making all these videos for you lovely lot. Now, I also want to give a shout out to Roberto the Hornet, who left their predictions on the previous video. I just thought I'd give him a shout out. The predictions were a little bit difficult, it is safe to be said, but I like the fact that they chucked in a few goal scorers in there. Unfortunately, Villa didn't beat Watford, and he's a Watford fan, so I think I'm just trying to do him a service. You know, he predicted his team to lose, and they actually won. So congratulations to you and all of the Watford fans. And if you want a chance to be featured in the next episode of the Premier League predictions, then by all means leave them down in the comments below. Now, there are a lot of postponed games and stuff like that, but one of them I don't recall predicting was Arsenal up against Wolves, and it just so happens to be that the game between Arsenal and Wolves hasn't happened even by the time this video goes out. All the other games, I think it's Burnley and Tottenham, Liverpool, Leeds, that sort of stuff, those games have happened by the time you're watching this video, but they haven't happened at the time of recording it. But I am going to predict Arsenal versus Wolves for you. I think Arsenal are going to win again. I think Arsenal they are currently the bookies' favourites to finish in the top four. I hope they finish in the top four. Wolves got a brilliant result against Leicester. Arsenal and Wolves were actually two of the teams that I correctly tipped in the last week. Arsenal to beat Brentford and under 3.5 goals. Wolves not to lose to Leicester and under 3.5 goals. Both of those tips came in. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to the Arsenal. I think as long as the Arsenal players keep their head, I know since Arteta was instated as Arsenal manager, no team has seen more red cards than Arsenal, so they do need to relax a little bit. But I think Arsenal have enough to beat Wolves again, and I'm going to go for the 1-0 win. And my tip is under 2.5 goals at 1.66. This could be 1-1. This could be 1-0 to Wolves. Trying to stay away from the result market as much as I want Arsenal to win. I'm going to keep it low scoring again, as it often tends to be. Now, officially moving on to week 27 of this game week, we have Southampton up against Norwich. I backed the Saints to beat Everton, scoring 2 goals. I'm going to back the Saints to beat Norwich, and I'm just going to say 2-0 to Southampton. Southampton look like a really tricky team to beat, a really tricky place to go, St. Mary's Stadium, especially if you are Norwich. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 win Southampton, and my tip is Southampton to win at 1.53. I know those odds kind of suggest that it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that Southampton win, but I do genuinely think it is almost that. It's more or less a foregone conclusion, I would say, that Southampton win. So I reckon Southampton beat Norwich fairly comfortably. Coming up after this, we have Leeds up against Tottenham. I think this is going to be an entertaining game. I think it's going to be a physical game. I think we could see plenty of yellow cards in here. I think Eric Dyer, he's probably going to get booked. I can just envisage it now. However, I do think Tottenham are going to win. They managed to beat Manchester City in a fantastic performance against the run of play, of course. If you look at the Oracle attacking threat chart, it's literally Man City, Man City, Man City, Man City, Man City, and then 3 tiny little spikes with a Tottenham goal. It was Man City were dominant. They are better, but Tottenham did what they need to do. You have to do that against Man City. If you're going to beat Man City, chances are you have to win ugly. You have to have less shots, less possession, and just be the winner on the day. It's very rare that Man City get dominated, but Tottenham were clinical. They took their chances, and I think against this Leeds defense that just shipped 4 against Manchester United, I think they're going to struggle to keep Tottenham out here. I think Tottenham are going to score a couple. I initially went with 3-1, but I've kept it a little bit closer. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Tottenham. I'm not going to complicate it with the tip, though. I think Tottenham to win on its own at 1.9 is very, very good value. So I'm going to stick with Tottenham to win at 1.9 in case it's 1-0 or something like that. I'm not going to risk both teams to score over or under certain amounts. I'm just going to say Tottenham to win. Now, after that, we have Brentford up against Newcastle. I think this is going to be an interesting one. I struggled to separate the two teams. I think at St. James's Park, I back Newcastle all the way. I think Kieran Trippier's fit. I back Newcastle as well. Brentford need to start picking up some points before they really get dragged into a very surprising, given the start they had, relegation battle. Genuinely, I think, obviously, I would say the bottom 3 right now are probably the bottom 3 that are going down, but Burnley, they're looking good as well. They're on the resurgence. Watford got a recent win, so anyone could go down. Brentford need points, so I'm going to keep it close together. I'm going to say a 2-2 draw. I think high scoring. I think neither team are particularly great at defending at the moment, so it lends itself to goals. Both teams want 3 points, but neither team wants to lose, so I'm going to sit on the fence. My tip is both teams to score at 1.8. Now, after that, we have Brighton up against Aston Villa. Aston Villa losing out to Watford. Brighton losing out to Burnley. Very unexpected results for me as far as I was concerned with that game week, and I can only see this being a draw. I think at Villa Park, potentially Villa, if they're playing well, could beat Brighton. But Brighton have been better this season. And at the Amex Stadium, it's a hard place to go. It might be a sort of windy, blustery sort of day. I'm going to go for a draw. I was tempted to go for 1-1, but I'm just going to go 0-0. It's been 0-0 between these two teams in recent history, I think, at the Amex. So I'm going to go for 0-0. My tip is draw at 3.1. So even if it is 3-3, the draw still happens. After that, we have Crystal Palace up against Burnley. Again, two teams I weirdly struggled to separate. I think if you asked me a month ago, I would have said 2-0 to Crystal Palace. However, Palace have been struggling to pick up results. They didn't manage to score against Brentford. They didn't manage to score against Chelsea. I think it's going to be tricky for either team. And Burnley have looked a little bit better recently, finally picking up some points. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between the two teams. And at the value, I couldn't look past as my tip. Burnley double chance at 1.8. Burnley to win or draw, 1.8. Just saying that now, Palace are probably going to win 3-0. But that's the joy of the Premier League. You never really know what's going to happen. After that, we have Manchester United up against Watford. I was very confident that Man United would beat Leeds. Not only did I put it as my tip in my members only tip post, Man United to win at 1.85. I thought Man United were always going to beat Leeds. Some people were skeptical. I think Man United beating Watford is a foregone conclusion as well. Knowing what Manchester United are like and knowing the threat Watford pose with the likes of Ismail Assar, I'm going to give Watford a goal. But Man United's squad is too talented to lose to Watford at Old Trafford at this moment in time. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win, and my tip is Man United to win and over 2.5 goals at 1.9, unless it ends 3-0, something like that. But the thing is, I think Watford could very well score, but I think Man United will still win. So that lends itself to goals as well and the result. After that, we have Everton up against Manchester City. Man City, yes, they lost to Tottenham. Yes, mathematically speaking, the title race is back on because if Liverpool win their game in hand and then beat Manchester City when they play each other, Liverpool would go ahead of them on goal difference, and then obviously other games, how they go really plays into how the league turns out. But it's now mathematically possible for Liverpool to catch up with Man City if Liverpool win all their games in hand. Up until this point, before Man City lost, Liverpool couldn't catch Man City even if they won all their games, including beating Man City. Now, goal difference aside, because we don't know how crazy City would go, if Liverpool won all of their games for the rest of the season, they would be top of the league unless Man City went absolutely mental in the other games that they won. So very, very exciting stuff. Man City are going to win this game against Everton. Everton woeful against Southampton, losing 2-0. Man City will need to bounce back now that everyone's talking about the title race being back. They want to get the 3 points. They will get the 3 points. They're going to get 3 goals. It's going to be 3-0. My tip is Manchester City halftime, Man City full-time at 1.83. Now the final fixture, we head over to the London Stadium. It's West Ham against Wolves. Obviously, I predicted that Wolves would lose in a low-scoring game to Arsenal. I also predicted they would beat Leicester in a low-scoring game. So if I got the Arsenal prediction right, then I would have got them both right. This is a really difficult one. I think at the very beginning of the season, I would have said West Ham win. I think a couple months later, I would have said Wolves win. And now I'm not entirely sure. So I'm going to sit on the fence once again. A lot of draws predicted in this video. I think it's a very exciting game week. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between the two teams. Just like when West Ham drew with Newcastle, 1-1. Wolves, with the typical low-scoring games they tend to have, the draw is definitely more likely. So I do think both teams will score. My tip is both teams will score at 1.95 in case it is like 4-3. But I'm struggling to pick a winner between the two teams, but my tip is not going to be on the winner's market or anything like that. I'm going to go for both teams to score at 1.95. So that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like, subscribe down below so you don't miss any future videos. That's Champions League, Europa League, Premier League, and everything else. So be sure to subscribe down below. That is going to do it from me, and I will see you in the next video very soon.